Hi, I'm Margaret, and welcome to Garden School. Well, today I wanted to talk about this beautiful little flower here, this cute plant with the white flowers on very long stems. The color is so beautiful. You might be wondering, what is this? Well, I'm going to give you a hint right here. It's a Venus flytrap. They bloom in May and into June, and we are in June now. So I'm enjoying the flowers that we're seeing on this little plant. Now, where do Venus flytraps live in nature? In a number of states in the United States, you would find them. North and South Carolina, Virginia, even Eastern Pennsylvania, Florida, Alabama. Also, you can find them naturalized in California and even in Washington State. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about, well, what do you do if you find them, out on a hike or something like that? And we'll talk about that in a moment. But right now I wanted to just talk a little bit about the distinctive natures of a Venus flytrap. It is a carnivorous plant, and the reason it's carnivorous because its habitat is in areas that have very low nutrient soil. So they might be super wet, saturated, not necessarily inundated, boggy places, sphagnum moss areas, boggy, sandy even, but the nutrients content in those soils is very low. So this plant needs to get nutrients from another source, and the source is insects. So the way it does it is inside the leaves, which are these two lobed things here at the end with the little fringe of hairs or eyelashes, I guess you could say. The way it does it is when it senses there are trigger hairs on the inside of these lobed leaves. And when those trigger hairs are touched, like not just once, but twice within a second, it will close. And if it detects that it is a protein-rich insect, it will close tight. If it's not a protein-rich insect, if it's just some debris or raindrops, the next day it opens back up. But if it is a protein-rich insect, it will close very tightly, preventing the insect from escaping. Here we can see one that is closed very tightly, and there is something going on in there. Anyway, the plant then releases some digestive enzymes. The insect is digested, the nutrients are gathered from that insect for the plant. So that is why it is a carnivorous plant. So you might wonder, well, why twice? Why does it need to just be triggered twice, and why within a second? Well, because if it is just some debris, falling or flicking into it, or if it's a raindrop, that, it just saves the plant energy so that it doesn't have to, expend energy so much in closing those leaves. That's why one other thing here, the habitats that we would find these in, it does need sun. So if it is found in too much shade, or if it experiences drought, it will go dormant. But also another thing is, if the environment that it grows in hasn't been burned, like if there hasn't been a fire on that environment for about 5 years, they will also go dormant. So that is one of the requirements for this plant to thrive. These plants used to be endangered, but it's been determined they're no longer threatened or endangered. They don't qualify for that status. But we still want to protect the environments they grow in because they're so very unique and they need a real specialized environment. If you're looking to purchase a Venus flytrap, a couple of things to determine whether you are getting one that's been poached or one that has come from a nursery, the more reputable source. So a couple things to remember. The plants, if you're looking at multiple plants in a tray, they should all be about uniform size. That's because they're probably then grown from a tissue culture, the same age, and that would be one indicator that they're grown and they're sourced reputably. Another thing is that if you can check the potting medium, it should be peat, probably sphagnum peat, not soil or like a native soil or even soil mixed with sand. That's also perhaps an indicator that they are, if they're in peat, that they are grown reputably and from a reputable source. Another thing is that there should probably be no weeds in the plant. That would, if there are, then they probably possibly have been taken from nature. Now I do have some moss down here. I'm not going to be, and I've had this plant for quite a while. So that's not an indicator. I'm pretty sure I did that where I got them from. It was reputably sourced. One thing about watering, if you're watering with tap water that has chlorine or fluorine in it, that plant is not going to do as well. So I try and remember to just give mine some rainwater or water that's been sitting in a watering can for a day or so, because those two chemicals, chlorine and fluorine, are ones that don't do a good thing for a Venus flytrap. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of information about the Venus flytrap. There are a lot of different types of carnivorous plants. Some are very different form than the one that we saw with the two leaves that close. Well, there's always more to learn in the garden. Bye-bye.